Before we can call our Lambda function from Java, we need to get the correct permission set up to access the function. In AWS IAM, Identity and Access Management, we create a new user dedicated to running this function. We give that user access to execute our Hello Lambda function. To create an IAM user, log into the AWS Cloud Console, search for the IAM service and click Add User. Give the user a name and select the Programmatic Access checkbox. Give the user a name, select Programmatic Access, and click Next. We now have to set up the permissions for this user. We click Create Group and give the group a name. We call it Hello Lambda Group, click Create. Now, as you can see, the group has no policies attached yet, so let's click on the group and we'll add an inline policy to this group. There are none yet, so we click here to create one, and we'll use the policy generator to create a policy. We select our service, which is AWS Lambda in the services dropdown, and we select the actions dropdown, and in there we'll add the invoke and async invoke permissions. Every resource in Amazon Web Services is identified by an Amazon Resource Name or ARN. In order for this function to be executed, we have to specify permissions to the specific ARN of our Lambda function. To figure out what that ARN is, let's open up our Lambda function in an additional tab in our browser. Select the function, and here at the top right we'll see the ARN for our function. Let's copy that and paste it in our policy ARN field. Click Add Statement, then we click Next Step. The policy is generated. We'll see the actions that are included in the policy and the resource that are included. We click Apply Policy, and now this policy is applied to our role. We can go back to our tab where we were building the user in. Now we select the Hello Lambda group to be attached to that user. So select the group and click Next. Now this group will be added to the user, and we create the user. Now we have an IAM user created, and that user can access our resources using a specific access key and secret access key. It's important to copy this right now and to store it in a safe location, because once you have left this page, the secret access key is no longer available anywhere. So it's up to you to store it and to make sure that you don't lose it and don't give it to anyone else. So I copied it to a text file now temporarily. We have a access key and a secret access key. And it's always this combination that you require for programmatic access to any AWS service. When you're using AWS keys from your local machine, there are a few ways you can provide these to your runtime: through environment variables, Java system properties, or the default credentials profile. Since we created a unique key and secret key pair for just this function, we create a dedicated profile in the AWS credentials file that we'll use in our code that will call the Lambda function. If you have the AWS command line tools installed, you'll already have a credentials file in the default location. For Windows, that would be your root disk C, then user folder, your username, and then a folder called .aws, and inside that folder a file called credentials. So C users username .aws, and then there's a file called credentials. Edit that file with Notepad. In my case, you'll already see that there is a default profile available, but we'll add an additional profile which we'll call Hello Lambda. And we'll specify a access key and a secret access key for these functions. Now we have a specific profile for our Hello Lambda function. When we write the Java code to execute our function, we will specify this profile name, and then it will pick up those keys.